propaganda. So content like this, pushing you for greatness, motivational things, reading the right stuff every day, being in the right networks, masterminds, mentors, because this is how you subtly change your reference group in the way you think. Now, I'm not going to sound like Stephen Bartlett, but I know a lot of people coming onto our podcast and who are not subscribing, but still enjoying the content. If I have one small ask from you, it's please hit the subscribe button. It'll help us a lot. The reality is right now, if you're the most successful amongst all your friends, you're not pushing yourself to the next level. You're becoming complacent and comfortable. And that's the most dangerous pace that most people are. In particular, in the AI revolution that's happening right now, if you are not at the 1% or 0.1% in terms of your industry, you are completely fucked. Everyone who's the category king of what they do is going to crush. And there's a great book I'd recommend that I'm reading at the moment, which is Play Bigger. And ultimately, it talks about becoming the category king. And that's what you want to do in your specific thing you do. So if it's in your specific fitness business, your specific business, whatever that might be, that's ultimately what's going to drive you to the next level. The next thing you want to think about is building that abundance mentality. So realizing that you want to have expansion as the way you think, not contraction. So it's like, okay, I want to grow my business. What's the quickest way to do that? Okay, if I can find someone who can help me take my business from 50K to 200K a month, what's the likelihood that they can do that if they've done it loads and loads of times over again, or I can just try and figure it out on my own? Because in life, you're going to pay for the things you want in two ways. One, either with time, or two, either with money. And one is more costly than the other, but most people have this the wrong way around. Money they print, time you can never get back. So what you actually want to do is you want to invest your money to save your time and shorten your period of time in terms of achieving the things you want in life. And that's how you become monumentally successful. And that's why I continuously just throw money to try and improve my skill set, my network, brand, reputation, to try and keep climbing and keep learning new things, because ultimately these are force multipliers. In particular, like, dude, if you're under 30 years old, like, you can benefit from these skills you have for the next 20, 30 years. The ROI on that is literally like off the charts. But so many people are like operating from a place of scarcity, undercharging in their business, not understanding what their worth is, accepting bad deals, and not actually investing in growth. And ultimately, that's where you can see this comes down to the choices you make every day. Do you choose to have an expansion mindset in terms of getting people to help you grow your business, hiring great team members, producing content, trying to build a brand? Or do you optimize for scarcity? You try and stay where you are, you try and protect, you stay contracted. Because if you have a contracted mindset, what happens? Your business contracts. If you have an expansion mindset, what tends to happen? You expand, you try new things, you start to grow, and you take risks. And ultimately, the upside on risk, the risk curve in terms of like the asymmetric bet on how big the payoff is so much bigger than people realize. Because if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You've ruled it off the table. If it does work, you absolutely fucking crush. And most people just don't take enough swings. Now, where I see a lot of people trying to get complacent is maybe they're making 100K a year, they're making a couple 100K a year in their coaching business, and they're not looking to push themselves to the next level, because you are in the most dangerous place where everyone gets to, whereas you are comfortable. You are making enough to kind of have a little bit of freedom, but you're not making enough to become the category king or get yourself to the next level. And this is where you are vulnerable, because you are replaceable. But if you become best in class at what you do, which is the mentality you should have, then guess what? People will always want to work with you, and people gravitate to that. So if you look at, for example, category kings like Uber as an example, Uber is like 1,000 times bigger than the next company, Lyft. True story. An example of Gymshark. How much bigger is Gymshark than something like Alphalete? Way, way bigger. And this is where you have to really understand that people will gravitate to the biggest brands, biggest businesses who have the most leverage. And this is becoming more powerful now, even because of the era of AI. And ultimately, what I want you to think about, and this actually applies really heavily to Facebook ads, is you need to become a sophisticated gambler in your business and in your life. What is the risk you should take? How big is the upside? What is the potential downside? If this works, what's the likelihood that you double your business? And even one of the mistakes I've made is I've invested a lot into like real estate and crypto. And I was thinking about this the other day, part of me kind of regrets it. Like, if I just put all that money into my business, would my business be twice the size it is now, make 3 times as much? There's probably a strong likelihood. Now, it is good to take some money off the table, but you also have to understand that you cannot save your way to success. You earn your way to success. and that's by making more money. Now, if you enjoyed this clip and you're a coach, creator, or a business owner, and you want help in terms of how to scale your business using ads, AI, content, marketing, a lot of things we talk about on the show, then hit the link at the top line of our description in the YouTube video. You can book on a call with us and walk through the whole process, audit your business, and show you where there's huge, huge opportunities for you to scale.